Free trade within the mindsets. That afternoon, pale sunlight draped through the windows of the study. Here, each calligraphy painting hung solemnly on the wall, radiating a serene and peaceful atmosphere. The master was gently gliding his calligraphy brush with honest and graceful strokes, making my heart resonate with the thought that the strokes of handwriting are the strokes of life. How simple and ordinary, yet so fulfilling. Suddenly, remembering the lingering question in my mind, I asked, "Master, why do some people work strenuously their whole lives, yet cannot escape poverty, while others seem to work little but achieve freedom and prosperity?" The master paused, put down his brush, and unhurriedly replied, "The difference lies in the mindset." He smiled gently, his warm, deep voice resonating. Human beings have two types of freedom: external freedom and freedom of the mindset. External freedom is when you are allowed to trade, work, or do business without being hindered by laws, society, or the surrounding environment. But do you realize that this freedom is only a very small part of the journey to reach prosperity? Freedom of the mindset is the determining factor of whether you can truly be successful and wealthy. A person with free trade within their mindset is someone who dares to think big, is not afraid to experiment, does not fear failure, and is always ready to learn. They are not constrained by outdated thinking patterns, nor do they let fear control their actions. They know that true value lies not only in what they have, but in the ability to create value from exactly what they have learned and deeply understand. The master set down his teacup, his voice thoughtful. The one with free trade in their mindset is someone who lives in alignment with the law of supply and demand. They do not merely see existing demands, they can also activate hidden demands, things that sometimes people themselves don't even realize they need. Imagine a baker who doesn't just sell plain cakes, but creates stories and experiences attached to the product. They don't just satisfy the customer's hunger, they also fulfill their desires and expectations for beauty, appealing appearance, fame, reputable brand, food, culinary enjoyment, wealth, reasonable value, and rest, comfort, and relaxation. That is how they turn hidden demands into obvious demands, and this very action enriches not only themselves, but also society. I asked, my heart full of questions, "Master, how do I activate free trade within my mindset?" The master encouraged, "Start by changing how you perceive value. Don't just think about selling products or doing manual labor to make money. Think about trading knowledge, that is, sharing what you know to help others. Once you understand that your knowledge can become a precious asset, you will see that creating value is no longer limited by your physical labor, but by your ability to deliver those values to the right people at the right time." I continued asking, "Master, how do I know if I have free trade within my mindset or not?" The master nodded, explaining, "A person without free trade in their mindset usually only dares to think about working for a wage or doing petty trade because they fear risks. They don't dare to try new things, nor do they dare to expand their capabilities. Conversely, a person with a liberated mindset knows that value comes not only from manual labor, but from creating, sharing knowledge, and helping others. They understand that business is not just about trading products, but trading visions and knowledge." I asked again, "Then how do I activate free trade within my mindset, Master?" The master replied, his eyes shining brightly, "Start by changing your awareness. True value does not lie in what you currently possess, but in your ability to create value from what you know. For instance, if you only focus intently on working to make money, you will be limited by your own labor. But if you learn how to promote knowledge, meaning sharing what you know to help others, you will not only create sustainable value, but also achieve true freedom. The master told a short story. Once upon a time, there was a farmer who worked hard on his small piece of land. Despite his efforts, he still didn't have enough to eat. One day, he met a merchant. This person advised him to plant a rare fruit tree that could be sold at a high price on the market. Initially, the farmer hesitated, fearing the risk. But after thinking it over, he decided to give it a try. Before long, he not only had enough to eat, but also became wealthy. You know what? The thing that changed here wasn't the land, but the mindset of the farmer. He learned how to do business, not just with a product, but with his vision. The master continued, "Look at the differences between nations. Wealthy nations usually have free trade, but before having freedom on a societal level, each individual within that nation must have free trade within their mindset. When people dare to think big, dare to challenge themselves, and are always ready to receive new knowledge, they will create prosperity for themselves and for society." The master looked straight at me, his eyes full of faith. Remember, free trade within the mindset is a reality you can receive and learn from others. Overcome your fears, abandon narrow-minded thinking, and always be ready to share your good values with the world. When you can do that, you will not only achieve financial freedom, but also inner freedom. I left the study, my heart feeling illuminated by the master's teachings. I understood that true wealth is not about possessing a lot, but the continuous ability to create value. The master's words echoed endlessly in my mind. Freedom of the mindset is the door leading to true freedom. Step through that door, and you will see a world much vaster than you ever thought.